How's it going, everyone? Reckless Yuki here, and on the screen to my left, your guys' right, is some Titanfall gameplay I got the other day, and I wanted to share that with you guys as I go over my new Scuf controller for the Xbox One. Super stoked about this. And as far as the gameplay, I do decently well. I was really happy with my performance, especially being out here in Hawaii, lagging it up. I thought it was a really good score and good game, so I like to share that with you guys. And afterward, I'll just throw on some extra clips of whatever I have just to kind of fill up the time as I go over my new Scuf controller. And in this video, I like to kind of, I guess, go over the features that I specifically chose for this build of this Scuf controller, as well as, I guess, just go over my thoughts on why I chose things for this. So, I guess, help if any of you guys are wondering what features you might want or don't want with a Scuf, it'll kind of hopefully help allow you guys to make a more educated decision as far as what you might be looking for, and as well as how to adjust these hair triggers here, because one of my good friends, Dang Yahtzee, he received his Scuf controller, but unfortunately he did not receive the little instructional pamphlet and the specific Allen key wrench that you need to adjust these hair triggers. It's a different size from the 360 Scuf controllers, so you can't use your old keychains that you used to have. Let's see, like I got one of these here, so you can't use one of these anymore. This is pretty much not going to be used. I think you can use this with the no, you can't even use this. Yeah, this is pretty much useless with a new Scuf controller. So all these, like, if you got one of these, is pretty much, yeah, it's only for the 360. So anyways, going over the features that I got with this Scuf controller, and as far as, I guess, my experience with Scuf, I've been playing with a Scuf controller for about 2 years now. I've had 3 Scuf controllers for the Xbox 360, as well as my own homemade Scuf controller that I made the video on as a tutorial. You guys could check it out. It's definitely one of my most popular videos as far as how to build a Scuf controller, and those same principles still apply to the new Xbox One. And the reason why I didn't build my own is because, well, I knew Scuf was going to eventually come out with it, and I really like the Scuf paddles that they come up with, and the craftsmanship of a Scuf controller, I have to say, I'm very happy with, and I don't mind paying the money that it costs to get one of these controllers. And as far as my old controllers, I have this like old school Scuf animal here, which I did like, and the only thing that I didn't like is the wire. It turns out with the wire, when you're trying to capture people's voices and talk to people through this port here, having a power controller really offsets the voice, and it kind of gives a little static, a little interference. And then I switched over to this. It's a Call of Duty Ghost Edition Scuf, which Call of Duty Ghost sucks, but this one's cool because it's a hybrid. It has like altered grips and whatnot. Pretty solid controller. I do like this a lot. And going to the features over my Xbox One Edition Scuf controller, the things that I did or chose, like I guess the first thing is obviously there's trigger stop. So there's this little stop underneath here, underneath this little panel, a backplate that is the actual stop. So instead of having it external with a screw like the 360, it's all hidden, clean, and nice. So it's pretty cool. And as well as an adjustable trigger, so everything's within there. There's nothing exterior with a controller. I had the rumble packs removed with this controller, and as far as like this controller, I tried to go the cheapest but most pro route. So there's nothing fancy with this. It's completely bare bones stock, except for every add-on feature that they had on the time. And so I had the rumble packs removed, and as far as the rumble packs being removed compared to the weight of a regular controller, I can't really tell a difference with it. And so if I was to rebuy one of these Scuf controllers, I'll probably keep in the rumble pack because it's not that big of a difference. And I think the rumble packs are useful for just, I guess, getting a better feel, especially in Titanfall. I really like the feeling of getting shot, and so I kind of screwed myself over. Well, I don't like getting shot, but I like the rumble sensation because it kind of puts you more into the game. It doesn't, at least the rumble packs don't throw off my aim or anything like that, so I'm not really affected by that. So I do like the rumble packs. So in the future, if this one's to break, I need to replace it, I'll definitely keep the rumble packs in. And what other features? So I have that. I have the Scuf grip, which is pretty standard. Scuf grip is like, just the scanner thing where they have this military grade paint here. And one thing that they have that looked like it was going to be released, but they didn't have it out yet on the time of purchasing this controller, was that Pro grip, where it has like these ridges on the side to allow yourself to, I guess, grip it more. I personally probably wouldn't bother with that. I'm perfectly fine with this completely smooth and flat surface, so I don't really care for that too much. Obviously, you probably are noticing I got the 4 paddles, and usually with these Scuf controllers, the paddles are aligned to the face buttons here, but I have mine set up a little differently. One thing I changed, so this is going to be your A, B, which is pretty standard A, B. That's what a lot of people do. And then this one is my X. So I have jump, crouch, reload. But this one is not my change weapon, my Y button. What this is my thumbstick down, because one thing I don't like is having to press the thumbstick down to do anything. Like if you're playing Call of Duty or Titanfall, you can set this up to either like your melee or your crouch. And one thing I notice is if I'm turning or aiming and I find someone and I need to knife them or like try to drop shot, if I have to aim, when I press down, my thumb is a little bit wobbly. So I'm not sure if anyone else has that issue, but I have that issue. So it kind of throws off my aim, especially when I'm trying to drop shot someone. So I have it set to the back paddle here so that I could still aim and then just press that and hold it. And my aim doesn't it doesn't like jerk around very much. So that's how I have my paddles set up. Finally, as far as I could think of for all the features with this controller is you see that the left analog stick here has the dome, is the convex analog stick, and it's nothing like, it's not the super tall one or anything, it's just a standard regular sized dome. And I like the feeling of a dome stick more than a concave, because I feel that the concave, when you're rolling your thumb, it changes the terrain and it kind of throws me off. Or at least I think it throws me off. That's why also I play with sniper control freaks. And for the right analog stick, I have the right analog stick as the regular analog stick. Nothing changed there. And the reason that I did that is because one thing I noticed with my original Scuf animal here, I have both of them as domes. When I like took off my control freak and try to use a regular controller, because this dome is slightly heightened, it throws off my aiming when I'm trying to play something like Battlefield, because I don't play Battlefield with a Scuf. I usually play Battlefield with just a regular controller. And when I was playing that, it just didn't feel right. And it took me a little bit of time to adjust to the new controller. And then if I wanted to go back to Call of Duty and still play with my Scuf, then it will take time to readjust to that. So I felt it kind of threw off my aim, which aiming in first-person shooters is super key, super vital. So that's why I don't like having anything fancy for the right analog stick. And what else? As far as the throw with the trigger stops, or with the hair triggers and the trigger stops, I feel that it is very necessary to, it's not necessary, but I like this a lot more than having a regular controller, because I'll just show you guys here how much of a reduction it is. So let's see, here we go. So this is how far you move it with a regular controller. That's a decent distance. And then with the Scuf, you're moving it that far. So this far or this far. And that's total range. And so really, when you're aiming and shooting on someone, you don't really need to pull the trigger down too much. And it kind of turns it more of a button feel, which I personally like. So that's overall every feature as far as with the Scuf controller, and I really do like this controller. The only thing that I would change, like I said earlier, is next time if I do get another Scuf controller, would be to keep the rumble packs in. But other than that, I absolutely love this controller, and I really like the setup that I chosen for it. And going to how to adjust the hair triggers, since some of you might not have gotten the instructional video or the instructional pamphlet, what you have to do is you have to take you got to take a 0.09 millimeter hex key or Allen wrench, whatever you want to call it, and you have to put that right in here. And it's a super small Allen key. I don't know if you guys can zoom in from my webcam here. Oh, is it gonna do it? Well, I don't think it's gonna do it, but right here is where you want to put the Allen key in, and that's how you turn it left or right. And that's what's going to raise or lower the trigger, so that you can fine tune where, like right before you press it, that's like where it's going to engage. And then when you let go fully, it stops whatever action you're trying to do. So whenever I set this, I always kind of look for the absolute minimum that I have to adjust, like so it's right on there. And then I turned it about another quarter of a turn to half a turn just to make sure that while I'm playing a game, I don't need to worry about this somehow sticking, because I've noticed that with 360 controllers, sometimes if I get it right on there and then I try to press it, sometimes it kind of sticks and it kind of throws off my game. So then I have to readjust it. And since this, you have to take off this back paddle to even get here, I don't really want to have to adjust it in game or anything like that. So that's how you adjust this. And as well, if you want to remove this trigger stop, so right here, that's the stop mechanism, you have to take a Torx key and put it right there in that screw and remove it to remove this gray plastic piece here. And that's how you remove the trigger stop. So basically, you could have a Scuf controller with all the features, and then you take that out and remove this plastic piece to take it off. Then you got full range of motion again if you want to play different games where you need full range of motion. And I guess also one other thing to add to this is the easiest way to take off this back panel I found was, like, the instructions said to push down on the trigger and then use your fingers to pry this off. Well, I don't know, that kind of didn't feel like the best solution. So the way that I did it was I just grabbed this really large flathead screwdriver, and you have to be really careful because this is metal and this is plastic. Metal definitely deform plastic. Plastic glues against metal. And so you just basically kind of put this in here a little bit and give it a slight twist, and it will start popping off, and then gently just pull it off and it'll come right off and it will be all good to go. So that's for the most part all the features and everything I could think of going over with a Scuf controller. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and hopefully it was informative without any rambling. I try to cut out as much fat and just try to focus it on the controller. So as far as my recommendation, I do highly recommend one of these, because especially for Titanfall, I like having the ability to never taking my thumb off of the aimer, and so I do all the parkour stuff. So for me, Scuf controllers are a must. I'm so glad that I have one again, especially for the new console. I'm really happy that Scuf finally released it for the Xbox One, and pretty soon, hopefully, they get to the PlayStation 4. Who knows? PlayStation 4 has a lot more fancy features within the controller. So maybe they can, maybe they can't. I'm not affiliated with Scuf in any means, so they don't tell me anything. So that's it. Hopefully the gameplay wasn't too embarrassing on my part. The first gameplay should have been pretty good, and then whatever I have to add in on top of it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys again in the next video. Bye-bye.